Ref.Rap, high school football, highlights of required equipment, Federation Football Rule 1.5. Ref.Rap is subordinate to Federation and Ohio High School Athletic Association. Ref.Rap is a supplement and complement to your exhaustive study of the Federation Rules Book and OHSAA rulings. Even though its amiable intent is to fortify and reinforce rules and its interpretations, the Federation and OHSAA official publications take precedence. Do you enjoy rule study? Can you remember and recall them on the field when you need them? Let Ref.Rap's interactive tools and tutorials be your conduit to comprehension through our time-tested track to train. For the required process of donning required equipment, its input, the ingredients for success, and the information form the acronym RAMP. They are rules, acumen, mechanics, and philosophy. Specifically, in this case, it's Rule 1.5. From an acumen standpoint, it's your common point of emphasis, almost on a yearly basis, this equipment-related issues. Mechanics-wise is Casebook Situation 1.5.5. And for us Ohio officials, check your gold book and look at pregame activities from a philosophical standpoint. The outputs, which would be our response, or our decisions that we are making, are the 4 A's: authorize, assess, adjudicate, and administrate. Specifically for equipment donning, they are: how do you prevent illegal equipment in the first place? Always making sure that you maximize safety and minimize any type of risk. How you make sure that from an adjudication standpoint you get the player out and make sure that they are then equipped properly. And from an administrative standpoint, be able to do this pre-game, or if it does occur during the game, having game awareness of when it makes sense to take the player out, given safety conditions and given where they are within their particular areas on the field. Our objectives are our outputs. So again, just to go through them again, we look at primarily we want to prevent equipment failures or equipment improper wearing in the first place. However, our biggest goal is we want zero reoccurrence. We want to maximize safety and minimize risk. So always use that as your standard when you do talk to a coach or you talk to other administrators. From that standpoint, if a player goes out, there's a safety violation, and for his or her protection, that's why you're taking them to the sideline. From a pregame standpoint, make sure your pregame starts well before you're in the locker room. Your early correspondence with the AD is your first way to be able to make sure that equipment and equipment issues are taken care of well before the game. On game day, when you're doing your field inspection or when there's warm-ups occurring, you can observe players and see what they look like they're doing. When you do meet with that head coach then, and on that question of is everybody legally equipped, per Rule 1.5.4, that is when the onus now becomes onto the head coach. At that particular point, you can re-emphasize to the head coach that you're doing everything you can to preventatively officiate those things from occurring. One of our last areas that we can do prior to being able into the game is looking at it from a pre-kickoff standpoint. Always be situationally aware. Know what's going on around you. But when in doubt, make sure that those players go out so that you can make sure that they are safely playing the game. Required equipment can be really related to the common child song of head, shoulders, knees, and toes. It's a good mind map for required equipment. We also have officiating signals that mimic such too. So whatever way works for you is fine. Look at the player in the center of the illustration. Moving from head to toe, he is properly equipped with a NOXA approved helmet, face mask, 4-point chin strap, 1 mouth guard, that is 4 mouth guard situations, shoulder pads, jersey, pants, girdle, thigh and tailbone pads, hip pads, knee pads, which cover the knee as shown, and shoes, all donned per their manufacturer and unaltered specifications. Flanking him are some compliant and several non-compliant scenarios. For example, if we go through from a clockwise standpoint, we see an exposed belly, an exposed undershirt, exposed back pad, uncovered knees, missing knee pads, and so forth. Please take care of those, again, from a preventative officiating standpoint, and don't let them delay the game. When in doubt, get them out. Make sure you are situationally aware as to those cases. Again, utmost safety and risk minimization is the priority. When in doubt, log suspect players' numbers and then report them to the head coach at your pregame meeting. Tip: as you are walking and inspecting the field, upon observing suspect players, do not address the student athletes directly. Log their numbers and report them to the head coach during your pregame meeting. The head coach is responsible for assuring they have donned equipment properly per Rule 1.5.4 and assures that they are legally equipped. When in doubt, err on the side of caution. Be the safe adult. These are minors. Situation from the casebook 1.5.5. What options exist for games officials to properly administer and manage requirements for players who are missing required equipment or failing to wear equipment properly? Ruling from the Federation, Rule 1.5.5, stipulates that players are to be sent out of the game for at least one down in either of those situations if such is not attributable to a foul by an opponent. However, it should be noted that Rule 1.5.4 requires that the head coach be responsible for assuring that players are legally equipped and shall not use illegal equipment. As a way to solidify this, we will do an on-site role play in which we will enact a pre-game type meeting. In continuation of our Learning Interactive Tool, or LIT, we look to say again, for the high school purist, this is an NFHS illustration of properly donning of equipment. So again, using head, shoulders, knees, and toes, we go to that we have a NOXIA-approved helmet, a face mask, a 4-attachment point chin strap that's fastened correctly, jersey covering the shoulder pads themselves, one mouth and tooth protector worn as designed, a tailbone pad as manufactured, hip pads as manufactured, thigh pads as manufactured, knee pads as manufactured and worn over the knees, pants covering the knees, and shoes. Works cited: Football Rules Book from the Federation, Football Case Book, also copyright from the Federation, Football Simplified and Illustrated from the Federation, Ohio High School Athletic Association approved football officiating mechanics, regulations, and rules philosophies, also known as the Gold Book, the Ohio High School Athletic Association, the Ohio High School Athletic Association football website with quizzes, mechanics, and rules, ohsaafb.com, uniform and equipment requirements, copyright NCAA, mahoningofficials.com, home of the Youngstown District Football Officials Association, or YDFOA, and my grandchildren. Let's review. Are there any questions or answers? Did we do a good summation of the rules? Is it understood? Did you learn something new or refreshed? Does it have meaning for you now? If you can answer those questions, then we successfully had a good course. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time, your care, and your commitment to the game. Appreciate all of you.